Coming up on City Spotlight, we're on location in Toledo. In this episode, we'll talk with Jo Fritts of the Neal Center YMCA Board and Blake Fairchild, CEO of the Mattoon Area Family YMCA, about the Neal Center YMCA that will be coming to Toledo, as well as the process it took to make this new facility possible, and what the local community can expect to see once the facility is up and running. And then we'll also talk Cumberland Schools with Cumberland Schools Superintendent Todd Butler about some of the programs being offered in the Cumberland schools, plus what changes will be happening for bus service for Cumberland School students. We're on location for this episode, and we're talking Toledo next on City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com. And welcome to another edition of City Spotlight. We are on location in Toledo, and we're going to be talking about the Neal Center YMCA in this first segment. And we're going to talk with Jo Fritts of the Neal Center YMCA Board. Welcome, Carol.
Thank you.
And Blake Fairchild, he's the CEO of the Mattoon Area Family YMCA. Welcome, Blake.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And we're taping this right after an event was held here at Cumberland High School to inform the public about the future of the Neal Center YMCA that will be in downtown Toledo. We'll find out exactly when it might open in a little bit.
Yep.
But first off, before we talk about the YMCA that's coming to Toledo, let's your first time guest, Carol, tell us about yourself, please.
Well, I'm the president of First Neighbor Bank, and I've been involved in the community center, what we called it before, project for almost 10 years actually. So this has been a long time dream coming. Never ever thought we would have YMCA in Toledo, Illinois. So we're so blessed and so happy to have them.
Wonderful. And thank you for being on. And Blake, tell us about yourself, please.
Yeah, and I'm Blake Fairchild. I'm the CEO of the Mattoon Area Family YMCA and been at the Y for 8 years. I actually started as an intern back in 2010, and then I was our sports director, and now ultimately our CEO. And so, as Carol said, I'm delighted to be here and excited to be in Cumberland County and to bring Cumberland County residents a YMCA in Toledo.
Great to have you both on. Back in August, we had Mayor John Beck on as we had our first City Spotlight episode on Toledo, and I remember him telling me about a YMCA is coming to Toledo, and my jaw dropped. And
yeah.
So I've been looking forward to talking to two people that are heavily involved with it. And let me just go on to the next step of this. I learned in August about this, and then there was the groundbreaking, a very cold day if we all recall.
It was cold.
December 12th was the groundbreaking for this new facility there on the square in northeast corner is the correct location?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Very good. And then this evening, just before we're taping, an event to inform the public, and what a great turnout that was for that. Do you have an estimation of how many people showed up?
Absolutely. I think we had right around 300 folks here in attendance, and at the same time, we had other events going on in town and around the area, so I'm very pleased with the turnout that we had.
All right, very good. And I want to ask you, I'm going to kind of go in reverse order, so let's start with this evening's gathering to inform the public. And Carol, what you guys wanted to accomplish, do you think that was met this evening?
I do, I really do. Plus we have a lot of followers on Facebook and a lot of followers on our website that are following the website. And you can check our website at nealcenterymca.org if you'd like to do that, or like us on Facebook.
All right, very good. Social media.
Absolutely.
And Blake, obviously both of you spoke tonight to the crowd, and from what you were presenting what was the purpose of this event tonight?
Our goal today, this project or a community center in Toledo has been around for some time, and so there's been questions, and there's been folks have heard that the Y is coming to town, and so our goal in today was really just our hope was that we could answer questions, and this is the first time we've unveiled the plans, and so we were able to show off the facility plans, the outside renderings, and some of the things that we hope that we can bring, and so I absolutely believe we achieved our goal. It was an incredible turnout, and the energy was contagious. I
know there are several steps still to go in the process of this facility happening and doors opening. Will there be any other future informational events for the locals in the near future at any point?
There's potential for that. We have not, when the doors open, we will have an event.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Probably the biggest event you've ever seen, to open those doors and get people really excited when we can walk them around, we can give tours and that type of thing. In the meantime, we may do something in between, but a lot of it, I think, is going to probably be related around programs. My hope is that we can have a program guide that we can give to the community a month before we open the doors and say, hey, on this date, whenever the door opens, here's what you can expect. Here's your class schedule. Here's the programs that are going to be offered and when they're going to begin. Those types of things.
And Blake, for our audience at home, why is the Mattoon YMCA involved with this? What is the role of the Mattoon YMCA with the Neal Center YMCA?
Good question. The Neal Center YMCA is a branch of the Mattoon YMCA, and it's just the logical step, I believe. They're looking to build a community center down here, and I know I'm biased, but the Y does a lot of neat work, and I think the community recognized that and said, hey, why can't we have this in Cumberland County? And so the conversations began, and here we are today, and so just really looking forward to it.
And Carol, you being in Toledo day in and day out, to be able to work with another community, to bring this kind of an opportunity, that must feel amazing.
It is amazing. Of course, we're lucky. We have Sarah Bush Lincoln here in our community too, and so we've been very blessed with Sarah Bush being a part of our community. So when this came about, we knew that we needed help. We knew we could build a building, but we knew that we needed help, and we were just very fortunate that Blake and Tony Sparks stepped up to the plate and believed in us, and the YMCA Board of Directors in Mattoon believed in our project. Mm-hmm. And then we had a lot of support from the Neal Foundation, with Burnham Neal.
I guess we'll go in reverse order of how things have happened. There was this event tonight on January 23rd. December 12th was the groundbreaking. Great turnout by the locals there on a very cold afternoon.
Yeah.
I was amazed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I referenced whenever I spoke that it was the coldest day of 2017, and it may very well have been. We had some cold days since then, but it was cold. And, I think then we had over 100 or right around 100 folks there in attendance, and the plan wasn't to have some long production. We wanted just simply to have some picture opportunities and say thanks. And so the turnout was awesome.
I do recall you saying you had a lengthy speech, but you cut it down to a Cliff Notes version.
It was planned to be about 40 minutes, and I cut it down to 5. So.
I'm one of those that says thank you. Cold camera tripod. It was a great event, though. Okay, so following the groundbreaking, before the groundbreaking happens, a lot has to happen in order for a groundbreaking to happen. So, Carol, tell us how we got to this point. Why is this happening for Toledo, and how? What were the things that, like financial stuff, that
led up to it?
Yeah, so explain that, please.
10 years ago, Burnham Neal Tire, Ben Tire, Burnham Neal visited with me. Burnham used to be our chairman of the board of our bank. And so Burnham and I visited, and some other folks, about a community center. And he was willing to give some money at that time with a match. And it just didn't come to pass. And so when Burnham passed away, unfortunately, he left $3 million to our community if a group of people could go together and form a board and make a request to the Neal Foundation. And so a group of us did. And so we made that request to the Neal Foundation. Neal Foundation said yes. We bought property, we demolished buildings, we started on building plans, and then it occurred to us that we really needed Blake.
Needed the Y.
We needed the YMCA. So we went to the Y. We had all these steps taken. We had money to build a building. The Neal Foundation continues to be supportive of us, and so we joined together, and we have a lot of enthusiasm with the people here. It's been amazing, and a lot of enthusiasm with Mattoon, with the folks in Mattoon, and it's just been great.
Having talked with both of you at the groundbreaking and hearing some of the presentations this evening, you kind of explained about the legacy of Burnham Neal, and that this is something he wanted.
Something very much. He wanted a swimming pool. He wanted little boys like himself to be able to ride their bicycles and go to the swimming pool. That was his big thing. So, and he wanted to be able to have it in town. And there was no other way that he was going to have it except for in town. So we found a location in town. Little did we know when Burnham was still alive that the opportunity would be to put it right on the Toledo Square, which is an awesome thing for the town. It's just a great thing for our community all around.
So what is the target goal for when this potentially might open?
That's a $10 million question, I think. No, our goal is to have this open in December, sometime in December 2018. We would love to have the doors open before we move into 2019, and a lot of that's pending weather and how the construction projects go, but I like our chances.
Okay, very good. I look forward to that, potentially walking through with my video camera and showing it off
Absolutely.
10 plus months from
We'd
now.
love to have
We
you.
would love to have you.
Very good. Blake, you're with the Mattoon YMCA, obviously, and that's been there, a part of Mattoon there in the downtown area. What is Toledo, Cumberland County, the surrounding communities in this area that are getting a YMCA? What kind of opportunities and facility are they getting?
So here, they're going to have, my goal, or our goal, is to replicate what we do in Mattoon the best that we can, but at the same time looking at what the need is in the community. And so today, whenever I spoke to our crowd, I talked a lot about, hey, just because we do it one way in Mattoon doesn't mean it has to be the same way in Toledo, and used the example of our basketball program and how basketball is shaped in Mattoon, you know, the different age groups and the different programs in Cumberland County, it may not be the same. And so do our best to replicate, but at the same time recognizing and shaping our programs and offerings to what the need is.
There were many things that stood out about what you both said and a couple other people. But one thing I want to point out that I think is truly unique is that the individual locker rooms that they'll be. Please explain that, because that is phenomenal.
Yeah, so we don't have, in this plan, we don't have the traditional locker rooms. You know, our Y, in all Ys, our demographic is from birth to well into, you know, we have folks that are in their 90s and even some that have been in the hundreds that have been members of the Y. And so privacy is, every age group views privacy a bit differently. And so we just wanted to make sure that we can have private spaces for individuals. And so that's for young families, that's for active older adults, that's for folks with special needs that would potentially be uncomfortable in a traditional locker room setting. And so by providing 15 individual spaces with a shower, toilet, and a sink, I think we're doing the best we can for the community.
Several other things you pointed out, but that was one thing that stood out to me that I thought you could elaborate on to our folks at home that are watching.
Right.
My final question for both of you, and appreciate your time here on City Spotlight. Carol, I'm going to leave you with this question.
Okay.
What does this say about Toledo to be able to have something like this to provide for the residents of Toledo, Cumberland County, and the outlying areas? YMCA is not something that you find in many towns, let alone a village, a town the size of Toledo.
I was sitting by a lady tonight when Blake was talking, and he made a comment about how much money we've raised already from our community. And she said to me, this is what small towns do. And so, you know, we really are rallying around and behind the YMCA at Mattoon, because they are giving us a gift that we could never provide for ourselves. I mean, Burnham gave the money, but the actual facilitation on a daily basis is going to be on the shoulders of the Mattoon Y. And so for them to come to Toledo, Illinois, and to work with us in Toledo is just above any of our expectations. We were so happy, so proud, so relieved, and very thankful to the YMCA and to the folks up there and the board that has agreed to help us out down here in Toledo.
Obviously a lot to be done. But what I love to hear is the great team effort, communities working together. This is City Spotlight, so we're talking about communities working together. This is as good as it gets right here.
Absolutely.
Carol, Jo Fritts of the Neal Center YMCA Board and Blake Fairchild of the Mattoon Area Family YMCA, we appreciate your time here on City Spotlight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Excellent. And coming up next here on City Spotlight, we'll change locations and we'll talk Cumberland Schools with Cumberland Schools Superintendent Todd Butler. But first, let's take a look at some of the upcoming activities going on in Toledo. And we're back here on City Spotlight, this on-location episode on Toledo, and we've changed venues, not gone too far. We were at Cumberland High School in the first segment. We've moved over about maybe a half a block to the school district building, and we're going to talk Cumberland schools. And to help us out is the superintendent of Cumberland Schools, Todd Butler. Welcome, Todd, to the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure to be here and on location for this Toledo episode. And before we talk about the Cumberland School District, Todd, tell us about yourself, please.
Well, I graduated from Cumberland High School in 1987. I began teaching here in 1994, coached, and then moved into administration in 2005. In 2014, I took over as the superintendent.
All right, so your familiarity with having gone to school here and moved on up from being you said you were a coach, a principal, and now the superintendent. I'm sure the familiarity with the landscape of this area and having been here a while helps you with being a superintendent.
It does. It does. Being familiar with the community, with the people that live here, is a big help.
All right, very good. All right, let's talk about your school district. This is a consolidated school district. You have a high school, and as you mentioned to me, the middle school is in the same building as the elementary school. And tell us about, and this is located all off Route 121 between Toledo and Greenup. Tell us about the number of kids you have in your school system and the communities that you serve.
Okay. We have just over 1,000 students in the Cumberland School District. Our three major towns or villages are Greenup, Toledo, and Jewett. And we have a lot of rural kids. Right. So there's about 1,000 students, just a little over 1,000 students. We're just under 300 in our high school.
Okay, very good. Before we talk about the facilities that you have, the two main buildings there, you had mentioned to me last year there was a 1% sales tax that was passed to help out with the schools, and that obviously shows a vote of confidence of the people in the community that they value the school. So tell us about what that sales tax was and what it will do for the schools moving forward.
Well, the 1% sales tax was passed last spring. In our area, in our school district, is a county-wide vote. In our school district, it was all a yes vote. We had some other township areas that didn't vote for it, but it did pass, and it's really a game changer for our schools. Not only our school, but other schools who have students who live in Cumberland County. And for example, at Teotopolis, they have some students that live in Cumberland County. They have some revenue from the 1% sales tax there. The 1% sales tax can be used only for school building renovations or repairs, which our high school was built in 1952, so you know it's needing some repairs. Right. It prevents and will hopefully continue to prevent us from having to borrow money or go to the voters for a referendum to maintain, upkeep our facilities. Our elementary and middle school was 50 years old this year. Right. So that as well is going to need some renovations and some repairs. So the 1% sales tax is a game changer for our school district.
I'm very happy to hear that. And you just kind of took a little bit of my information I was going to say there, but you have a high school that's 65 years old and your elementary and middle school 50 years this year. So some nice even numbers for people to remember there. When was the last time you had any additions or updates?
I believe in 1996 we built a new gym at the middle school along with classrooms. Other than that, the only other renovations are the yearly maintenance like roads, roofs, paint, things like that.
Okay, very good. Let's talk about the curriculum you have being used in the two buildings there. And as you told me, the K through 8, it's the pretty standard curriculum that you see at other schools being used?
Correct. Yeah, it's traditional type. We do offer several different clubs and activities in our middle school. We have a flex period where the kids get to a lot more hands-on type activities. But really K through 8 is a traditional school.
And the high school, one thing you wanted to talk about was vocational stuff.
We do. We have a really solid vocational program. Our students are very interested in that in this area. Our construction skills, our cabinet making, our welding, just our basic woodworking, not to mention our home ec, our sewing, things like the traditional home ec programs. We have a lot of kids that are interested in our art program. We have a very good art program here. So there's a lot of offerings for our students, a lot of things to be involved in.
A lot to learn than just the basic courses that you need to take, but you're piquing the students' interests, so that it's going to make you feel good that you can pique a variety of interests of students.
It does. It makes us feel good as a staff, a school board, a community, that our students are being offered things that interest them, and also that they can use in the future.
All right, very good. And you said for the past 4 years you've had a one-to-one digital component involved in the school district, which was kind of helped out by the Neal Foundation, which we talked in our previous segment about the new YMCA and the Neal Board and their help. But talk about how that's being used in the schools.
Well, first of all, that would have never happened without our Neal Foundation. The funding came directly from them to our school. We had purchased enough technology, Chromebooks is what we use here with our students, for every student to have one of those. Now our K through second grade, K through first grade, we don't have enough, because there's just not as much possibly need for it in those classrooms. Right. But from third grade, second grade through 12th grade, every student has the ability to put their hands on a machine at any point of the day.
All right, very good. Any other programs or things you want to highlight at either building that's going on, whether it be a program that you had already mentioned, the vocational, or anything going on at the elementary school that you'd like to highlight?
Well, we're getting ready to in March have our annual drama production, which our students are very interested in. I think there's about 64 students involved. Wow. And it's a great production. I think it's March 16th through the 18th, I believe. Okay. It's held at the Toledo Christian Church, and Mrs. Stacy Kaiser produces it along with a lot of help in the program, because you can't do it on your own. Right. With that number. Our band and choir is continuing to be a popular program for our students. In high school and middle school, our athletic programs have done well, and it's just one more thing that you can offer a student, that we like our kids to be involved, and our kids like to be involved, and we're fortunate.
Those support groups and different avenues for the kids to go to during these K through 12 years is a major component that definitely makes for great memories. Right. I was in the band in high school, and I have a lot of great memories. So for these kids, it's great that they have a lot of places to go to.
I agree.
Very good. Talk about the community support you have. You have, like as we mentioned, it's a consolidated school district, so you have a variety of villages and rural towns that the families and the students that come to the school. Talk about the community support you have from all these different people in Cumberland County.
Yeah, our community is awesome. We're kind of the hub in between the three small villages. It's not uncommon for athletic events or band concerts to see a full gym, or a football stadium, or our stands is full. It's an area for our communities to come together, and for our community members to come together, and it's nice to see that. Nice to see the support that our community provides us.
You saw that from them voting on the sales tax, and they show up for the variety of events that are held to support the kids, and it's great to have the community support. One thing that you told me about that people in the Cumberland School District can look forward to is some new buses starting for the next year. And tell us about this exciting news, please.
Right. Well, we lease our buses, so our lease is currently at the end of this school year is up. So we are renewing our lease, and we have decided to, as a board and committees and talking to people, we have decided to move somewhat away from the diesel, the high emissions type vehicles, and more into gasoline and propane. Next year, our students will be riding buses that aren't diesel. They'll be riding buses that are gasoline or propane. And we looked at that and thought, when you see 15 buses or 14 buses sitting out here with little kids walking by, exhaust pipes and things like that, it's just not a good situation. So we decided to move to a cleaner burning fuel, which is propane and also gasoline.
All right, very good. And how long have you guys been thinking about doing something like that? Because that's not a small undertaking that you change bus stuff.
Right. We've talked about it for probably 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a big decision for us because the comfort zone was diesel fuel, and as the years go on, you see more and more districts moving away from diesel into this cleaner burning fuels.
All right, very good. That's all I have on the list of questions for you, Todd, and it's a pleasure having you on this first time here on City Spotlight. Todd Butler, the superintendent of Cumberland Schools. We appreciate your time here on City Spotlight.
Thank you very much.
And that'll wrap it up for this on-location City Spotlight episode on Toledo. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. City Spotlight is on YouTube. Past episodes can be viewed on East Central Illinois towns that have been featured on City Spotlight. Just search on YouTube, City Spotlight, with the show number and the name of the town. Listed on your screen are the recent episodes of City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com.